So, as a part of the Master Guide curriculum, there are some six. Okay, so we'll quickly go through it. I know we are already late, and I want to leave on time, so I'll try to finish it quickly. Rocky? Okay, so how many are here? 4, 7, 10, 14, 15? Okay, 14. Okay. So we'll be having some content in the slides and then we'll be having an activity. So for that I'll be expecting you to split into groups of 5, so totally 3 groups, right? Okay, so um, as soon as you hear the term Christian leadership, what comes to your mind? Sorry? Politics? Okay, good. Okay, anything else? Yeah. Anything else? I want some 5 points from you. Okay, politics is one, and the usual leadership that comes with it. 3 more points. Anything? Okay, maybe let's leave the Christian part aside. Just think about leadership in general. Yeah, politics, obviously. So politics comes with leadership, like wherever you go. Responsibilities, good. Anything else? Being a role model, good. So if you are a leader, people look up to you. Anything else? Yeah, you're expected to be a disciplined person because people look up to you. Not being biased, yes. Sorry? Knowledgeable. So if you're a leader, people expect you to know everything, right? So they'll come to you and they expect you to like provide the answers. Okay, so now just apply that to the Christian part of it, right? So that means as a Christian leader, what people expect from you? Knowledgeable, right? People expect you to know everything about the Bible. A role model, people expect you to lead a proper like Christian life, so people can like look up to you and follow you. Yeah, non-biased, right? So obviously there will be like some conflicts happening in the church, and you should be non-biased. Okay, so there are a lot of things which is exactly same for a usual leader and a Christian leader. You should lead, you should help, you should be a role model, all those things. But there are certain things that are completely different. Can you think about something? Certain expectations or characters are completely different from a typical leader and a Christian leader. You're seeking God's guidance, but again, see, yeah, normal leaders can also do that. Being humble, okay, so we call that as the servanthood, right? So typically, a leader means in a political circle, what comes to your mind? That means, okay, so that person is on top. Yeah, he is given more importance, and everyone listens to him, right? An ideal Christian leader, right? So, as I said, an ideal Christian leader should be exactly opposite. He should see himself as a servant of everyone. He should be working for everyone, not the other way around. Instead of expecting everyone to work for him, he should be working for everyone. That is the single most difference between a Christian leader and a leader. Okay? And everything else is almost the same. Okay, whatever leadership attributes you like exhibit in your school or workplace, right? So the same thing applies to being Christian leader as well. Okay, so now, I mean, the syllabus has a lot of content, so we'll just go through the slides one by one. There are some 30 slides, I guess everything, each slide will take not more than a minute, and then we'll go through the activity. Okay, so most of these things you already know. So first is, okay, why are you here? In the first place, in the club. Why are you part of the club? I know your parents gave you no choice. Apart from that, develop your skills. Okay, is it Saturday evening entertainment? Okay, so the main thing is, these clubs, all those syllabus that we have for various ages and age groups and everything, this is a proper mentorship program. Right? So the expectation is, if you go through all these classes and syllabus and exercises, right? So you will be much better than someone from the outside when you reach adulthood. And you can be a better citizen out there, better Christian out there, right? So I just want to like start with that, right? Because definitely there are a lot of fun entertainment aspects to it, going out, camping, all those things. But what to keep in mind, so the main purpose here is mentorship. Okay. So let's talk about this club, all right? So, okay, I'm not going to ask you to choose a leader, but think of it that way. If you have to choose a leader, or if you want to become a person who can lead this club, what will you expect in yourself, or what will you expect in that person to have? Okay, so we'll go through a few things one by one. Okay, before that, definitely each of you will have your own opinions. Okay, before that, for the leader to be more effective, there are a few things that should be considered. First is the role that is needed. In a sense, the easiest way to grow is to find the gap and establish yourself in that. It applies to everywhere. Okay? Let's say you're part of a football team. Okay? Everyone are playing good, but the goalkeeper is really bad. Okay? You always wanted to get into the football team, but you're not there. Okay? So your school has a football team. And what is the easiest way to get into the team? Showing yourself as a great goalkeeper. Right? Because that is the gap they have. Okay? So you want to get there, you find the gap, okay? And you get there using that. Okay? So this works everywhere. So now, same thing here. There are different roles in the church, in a group, right? Let's say you're going for a camp. There will be a person who organizes everything, books everything, does everything, right? There'll be a person like who will be encouraging people to come. There'll be a person who is taking care of the food and everything, right? Now let's say there are already 3 great organizers in your group. Okay? Now you want to be a coordinator, or you want to step up. Does it make sense for you to be one more person who is doing the same organizing work, which is already overcrowded? No, you can't shine that way, because if you attempt that, what happens? The first thing that happens is a conflict. 3 people in the group are doing that already. Now you're trying to do the same thing. And obviously what happens? Conflicts. Okay? Keep this in mind, be it in your school or work, your growth should be smooth, without conflict, without controversy. People should see you growing without gossiping about you, I have to filter the words, or talking bad about you in your back, right? That is the easiest way to grow, because even if you're a really good, talented person, you always get into conflict. You always become a content for gossips. Your growth will be always hindered, right? So, with the help of God, find a way to grow anywhere without conflict as much as possible. Okay? Any comments, feedback? Anyone thinks, okay, so no, that is not the case, it is okay to have conflict? Hmm. Okay, see, absolutely there is no way to avoid conflict. But the question is, what is your goal? Okay? If your goal, let's say this club, if your ultimate goal is to be a leader of this club, and that matters to you more than anything else, okay? So your preference should be to grow in a path with the least conflict. Okay? Because you may be the brightest person, but if your name comes in a lot of discussion, whenever people talk about conflict, your name comes. Even you are the brightest, your growth will be hindered. That is reality, right? Can anyone deny that? No. That's how the world works. You can be the brightest. Because let's say I'm a manager in a team, okay? I want to promote a person who is the number 2 in the team right next to me. Okay? Who will I choose? A brightest person in the team who has conflict with everyone in the team? Or the second brightest or third brightest person in the team who goes well along with everyone? Who will you choose for that position? Yes, because even if you are the brightest, you will work well. Okay? But because of the conflict you have with everyone, the entire team's productivity will go down. So as a manager, what do I care? You are the brightest, but still, because of you, like everyone is getting conflict, and everyone's productivity is going down. Ultimately, I care about the collective productivity of the team. Maybe I like you, you're bright, still, as a manager, I'll care about the collective productivity, not the individual. So, always keep that in mind. Go with the path of least conflict if your goal is to grow. Okay? Sometimes you'll have different priorities. Sometimes you may feel like, okay, so getting a promotion or growing is my secondary priority. I want to make sure what I'm doing is right. I want to prove the world what I'm doing is right. It's okay if I have conflict. That's fine. In that case, go ahead. But ultimately, all of us like study, go to job and everything for what? To keep growing, to achieve more, right? Same thing applies here as well. As I say, here, the first thing is how to make leadership effective. Find the role that is needed at that moment. That may not be the role that you are the natural at, but still, that's the particular role which is needed and you want to grow, go for it. Easiest path, least conflict path. And second is character. So, for a Christian leadership to be effective, you should understand the characteristics of the people you're dealing with, right? And second is leadership styles, okay? So if you have to lead, it is always like, can you always tell, okay, this is my style. I'm going to just do it this way. Doesn't matter if it's effective or not. No. You have to adapt your style based on the person situation you're dealing with. Okay? And the most important thing is practical leadership. Okay? So sometimes have you ever been in a seminar or a sermon where a person gives a sermon which is really sweet to hear, but doesn't have any practical applicability at all? Really good message. It feels like, yeah, exactly this is how a person should be, but you know it is not possible at all. Right? So whatever you do it in a very practical way. Okay, so we talked about the main difference between a Christian leadership and a normal leadership, right? In popular culture, a leader means like highly charismatic person with huge following, so maybe a lot of aura around that person, right? But Christian leadership is exactly opposite. If you go by the scripture, you should be the humblest of all of them. You should be a servant, right? Yeah, same thing as I mentioned here. Okay, this is really important. Now, you are in a class or a team. Now, the coach or the leader is saying, going forward, this Y person is going to be your leader. Okay? And over the past 1 or 2 months, you heard a lot of things about this Y person, that he's a great person, he has done a lot of good things, he has accomplished a lot. You keep hearing a lot of good things about that person, okay, so that everyone wants to be like that person, and then eventually at some point of time, people are coming and saying, okay, so this Y person is your leader. How will you receive it? Versus, you have known a person very well, but you have never known about his accomplishment or anything. And nobody. Okay? All of a sudden they are saying, okay, so this person is going to be a leader. You follow his lead. How will you receive it? No comments? Okay, so, or will you be like, okay, so he's like, which person definitely will be receiving more warmly? The first one, right? So, before you become a leader, your influence should already be there. You getting my point? It is not like you become a leader and then people are feeling your influence. It is the other way around. People feel your influence. Because of that, you'll become an efficient leader. You're in a team. People should feel the value you're adding. People should feel your influence. Then, you'll become a leader and you'll be seen as a very natural leader. Okay? So that's the key difference. So that means you can't be mean to a group that you want to lead. Okay? You can be mean to a group that you want to leave, doesn't matter. But if you want to stay and lead and become a great person among a group, you can't be mean to them. You should be a person of positive influence in that group. That is the only way they'll accept you as their leader. Or else from the day one, you will be like facing resistance and conflicts. Right? So this is practicality. Put yourself in that position. Right? So will you accept a person who you never heard about? Or let's say you always heard about a star player. And everyone's saying, okay, so this person is going to be a captain going forward. You'll be proud to work under him. You'll always want to know, okay, so what else I can learn from that person? Right? So that's the difference. That means, put it the other way around. How do you make people want you to be the leader? That means your influence should go before you. Right? So people should know about your influence, positive influence. As I said, you can't be mean to a group that you want to lead. Okay, so that means by accident, if you have been mean to a group, that means you have to leave. You can never lead. Don't think about leading that group. Or try to make things right, which is always hard. Right? Okay, so this, how many of us listen and watch before we act? Okay? Let's talk about a group of friends. Okay? Sometimes we barely hear something, we assume, we act. Right? Instead of listening and watching the full story. As a leader, it is really, really important that you listen and watch properly before making any decisions. Okay? Because as a leader, you will be judged for each and every one of your decisions. Okay? So you listen to some half-cooked content, make a decision, you will be seen as a bad leader. You can't tell, okay, so they didn't give me the full data. No. It's your responsibility to know the full thing and take a proper decision. So don't rush. Okay, so as I said, listen before deciding, watch before acting. And this is, once again, common for both a Christian leader and a leader in anything. Right? Okay, so now, each of you, let's say there are like 4 different type of contributions. Think which category you belong to. Okay? The delegator. Okay? The person who says, okay, so this person is the best fit for this work, and delegate the work to that person. They delegate. Second, the organizer. The person who goes around, organize things. For example, you're going for a camp, booking the tickets, buying food, all those things. Facilitator. They help others with their wisdom. Right? They don't do anything by themselves as such, but their presence will be felt because like people rely on them for that. Then finally, the teacher. People who help others, right? They teach others how to do. Okay? So now, last time I counted around 14 people are here. How many of you think that you come from the category of a delegator? Raise your hand. How many of you think that you can call yourself as a delegator? No one? No, so like think of it like this group, right? Let's say you go to the Pathfinder class every single week, right? And now there's an activity. What will you do? You delegate, you facilitate, you organize, you teach. Okay? So now, how many of you think you will be an organizer? No one? Okay. How many of you think you will be a facilitator? Okay, so there's only one option left. How many of you think you will be a teacher? Okay, so the remaining, what? Absent, don't come to the event, don't do anything. Okay, so as a matter of fact, it's good that you didn't raise your hand because most of the time we don't know. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we fit. We don't know how we can grow. Because we ourselves don't know about our skills, we don't know about our positives, we don't know about our negatives. Right? So maybe think about this a little bit. Okay? Let me move on. Okay, so now assume, okay, I'm the leader for this group. Okay? And we are going on a camp trip or trekking trip, something. Okay? You have done something really good. What will you expect me to do? Appreciate you in front of everyone. Right? The acknowledgement. So that is really a key attribute of a leader. A leader must acknowledge the positive contributions. The leader must appreciate the work. So that makes the leader a really good leader. So that means, one thing to keep in mind is, if you want to become a leader, people should see you as a leader even before you become one. Okay, so you're in a group, you eventually want to become a leader, grow your leadership skills. What should you do? Start doing what a good leader should do. When someone helps, appreciate that in front of everyone, not in the secret. Okay, when someone does something wrong, let's say you have done something wrong, what will you expect me to do? Correct? Where? In front of everyone? Privately. Right? So, again, that is an expected behavior of a leader. Appreciate in front of everyone, but correct privately. So now, if you have to develop your leadership skills and you want to become a leader, as I said, right, in a group, if someone should pick a leader, they will pick someone who they already see as a leader, even though they're not officially a leader. People who show all these like attributes of a leader, right? Or else, if I have to like pick someone among you, okay, I know a person who is like exhibiting all these things, appreciating publicly, giving negative comments in private. Okay, so, and previously we've seen a few things as well, right? In that case, like, whom will I choose? Right? So, that means going forward, if someone does something good to you, what you should do? Send a WhatsApp message saying thank you privately. Appreciate it publicly. Okay? And when someone does something wrong, what you'll do? You'll send a message in the group chat. Call them out in front of your friends, everyone. No? Do that privately. Okay? You have no idea the amount of respect you will earn by doing this. Appreciating publicly, criticizing privately, this will earn you a tremendous amount of respect that nothing else can bring. Okay, again, I know I told this already 3 or 4 times, telling it again. People should already see you as a leader before you become a leader, for you to become a leader, or else you'll never become a leader. People won't randomly pick someone and make him as a leader. They'll pick, because the leadership is not an easy task, right? So let's say a team of 10 will have how many leaders? 1. And the responsibility of the leader is really so much because the leader can bring the entire group of 10 up or they can take them down. So people will spend a lot of time in choosing a leader. So if you want to become a leader, you have to take that very seriously and start showing those characteristics. Okay? Again, team builders. So when you publicly acknowledge and privately criticize, you'll be seen as a team builder. Integrity. Definitely required for a leader. First, be consistent. Okay? So, I talk to you and I'm telling you one plan for next week. Next time I'm talking to her, I'm telling a different plan for next week. And you both talk among yourself. And what will you talk about me? Okay, that guy said this is the plan. Okay, but to you he said that is the plan. What is that guy thinking? He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not fit to be a leader, right? Won't you talk about that? You'll definitely talk like that. Everyone will talk like that. Integrity is important. And the next one, network without gossip. Chatting and gossiping are two different things. Right? Networking and gossiping are completely different things. No, gossiping is also a kind of chatting, but still, right? You should, especially in an environment like a church, or anywhere for that matter, should you be one among the group, or should you be the leader of that group? If you want to be leader of the group, you should not gossip. Just think of it that way. I'm coming to you gossiping about someone. Okay? And the next day, they are saying, okay, so I am the leader for this group. Okay? And what will you think? How can a person who gossips about others can be a leader? Right? Because sometimes gossiping can be very addictive. Right? You start talking about something, you want to talk about like everything. But, see, nothing wrong in gossiping among friends, but what is your goal? You want to become a leader? Don't gossip. The reason is, psychologically, it will be really hard for people to accept someone who gossips as a leader. Right? A person who is talking bad about everyone, gossiping about everyone, it will be really hard for people to accept them as a leader in their mind. People will want someone clean, someone unbiased as a leader. Okay, so now, what kind of leader will you be or will you like? A person who is giving you exact steps how to do, or a person who is just giving you an assignment very high level and saying, you figure out. First option. Okay, for example, someone is saying, go and build a camp. Just one-liner. We like that. Or a person is saying, giving very detailed instruction. Pick those 4 poles, put it there, and pick those like longer poles, connect the 4 poles, and put a sheet on top of it, tie the rope, all those things. Giving detailed instruction. Whom will you like? Second one. But the first person is the good leader. Yes, because if I'm explaining in detail, I will always be the leader, you will always be the member, you will be always dependent on me. If you're going for a camp, I'm not there. You don't know how to build a camp, build a tent. You will be stuck. You will be always dependent on me. That means you can never grow. A leader always empowers others. It will be hard for others initially because without an instruction you have to do, you may fail, right? But that way, you are becoming a next generation leader. If I'm on leave, you can build like tent yourself, not depending on me, right? That is one more attribute of leader. Do not create dependency. It is important even in a relationship or among friends or anything, right? A person who creates dependency is never a good person. A person who gives complete ownership, right? They are the right leaders. Okay, so how many of you can tell that you are a peacemaker? When two people are fighting, you're calming everyone down, or like even someone is yelling at you, you're being calm. We take sides or worse, so like we add fuel to the fire, right? Okay. Again, as a Christian leader, you're expected to be a peacemaker, right? Okay, so now let's say someone in the group is talking something bad about you. What you'll do? Ignore that person, block them in Instagram. No? Okay. So let us put it this way. You're doing something wrong, the person is talking bad about you, then you're correcting yourself, okay, so that, okay, so he doesn't talk bad anymore. You're showing, okay, so you're not that person. Say you're doing everything right, but still someone is talking bad about you. So you can't change opinion. So, will you walk away from that person, or will you confront that person and ask? Okay, so previously we said we should be peacemaker. Now we are saying you have to confront. Right? As a matter of fact, as a leader, you should be peacemaker. You should not fight. At the same time, as a leader, if someone is talking bad about you, you have to confront, or else people won't respect you as a leader. If someone is talking bad about you, you have to confront. I'm not saying go and fight. There's a difference. You have to ask, okay, look, I've heard you speaking these things about me. Why is that? You have to confront, but in a polite way. If you don't confront, people will take you for granted. Anyone can talk anything about you, and they know you don't like hold them accountable for that. You will lose your respect. At the same time, you go and fight. What will happen? From that point of time, no one will pass the gossip to you. Even if someone is talking bad about you, no one will come and tell you because you'll go and fight with that person. And they don't want to be the person like who brought the news to you that made you to go and fight with that person. You have to confront to maintain your respect. At the same time, you should not fight. Sometimes you have to think like this. Look for the hurt behind the attack. Why that person is talking bad about you? What did you do to hurt that person knowingly or unknowingly? Most of the times we just tell, okay, that person is just jealous. That is easy for us. Say, okay, so that person is just jealous. He's talking bad about me. But most of the time it's not the case. At some point of time, knowingly or unknowingly, you might have hurt that person. Right? Look for the hurt behind the attack. And do not postpone having a conversation with them. They keep talking bad about you, they keep avoiding you, something, right? Notice the person, talk to the person, depend on the Holy Spirit to guide you in the conversation. Because confronting is easy. How you talk to that person during confrontation really matters. It is not like you go and fight with that person, right? You have to go and talk in a really good way. Because like you're going there to confront and de-escalate, to make things better, not to fight. If you want to fight, you can just ignore that person. Okay, so you go tell whatever you want, I don't care. You don't exist for me. You're dead to me. Done. Right? No. You're confronting the person to make things better. That means you have to depend on the Spirit. You have to pray, go, so you can go and talk to that person properly. Understand what is their point of view. Right? And let's say you are a leader. Two people are not talking. You're trying to mediate. What is the most important thing? Sorry? Be neutral. Hear both the sides. Even if you're not a leader, don't ever get involved in any problems without hearing both the sides. Let's say you're talking to a person, there is another girl or boy you never talk to, they both are fighting, you only hear this person's point of view, you never hear that person's point of view because you never talk to that person. Do not ever pass a comment about their fight at all. Because you have heard only 50% of the story. Most of the time, your friend is fighting with someone, definitely you won't talk to the other person because your friend don't like that person. In this case, you can be a moral support to your friend, but stop. Don't open your mouth, don't utter a word about that conflict. Because if you only heard 50% of the story. If you want to be a good judge, pass comments. Hear both the side, then you talk. Or don't talk. But practically, most of the time, that doesn't happen. Because one person will be your friend, other person will be your friend's enemy, so naturally your enemy. You won't talk to that person. So you always hear 50% of the story. Be a moral support to your friend if he's hurt, if he's crying. Stop. Don't talk bad about the third person in public or to anyone else because you don't know what happened. I mean, if you're a witness, you've seen what happened, that's a different story. Don't judge anyone based on just one person's story, even if that person is your close friend. Okay? Is it too boring? Everyone's very quiet. Relatable, not relatable? Or is it just like only old people come across these, like you don't come across any of these things? Okay. Now, you'll be always criticized. No matter what you do, you'll be criticized. Right? I know lady is also like asked in the beginning. I guess she's not here. Okay. Okay. So, criticism is unavoidable. Your measure is not your criticism. It is not like, okay, so you are criticized the most, you are a bad person, you criticize the least, you are a good person. No. Criticism is not your measure. Okay? So, as a leader, you will be criticized. Let's say you're trying to take an initiative in a group. Let's say you're not the leader in the group, but you're trying to just take an initiative. Do you think everyone will agree? They will say, yeah, who is he to take a lead? Right? So, there will always be criticism. Now, you're a leader, someone is floating an idea that sounds completely silly and stupid, you have to still hear it. Okay? You can reject it, right? But if someone is proposing something, just by hearing a word or two, you should not tell, oh, that won't work. You have to listen, okay? One more character of a leader, the expected character of a leader is being a listener. Maybe you made up your mind, you're not going to do it, totally fine. But listen to them completely, right? You should at least give it a hearing before rejecting it. Okay, so think about it. There's a leader, you go to the person, you're just proposing something, you just said 2 words, he's saying, go, that won't work. And you're going to a person, you're proposing something, he's listening to you for 15 minutes, whatever you're trying to tell, and then he's explaining, okay, because of these reasons, it won't work. In both cases, he said it won't work, right? But in the first case, you'll be frustrated. You'll be angry on that person. In the second case, still you'll be frustrated, but you may think, okay, so maybe there's something lagging in my idea. I have to refine that. Okay? That is another true characteristics of a leader, right? You have to listen. Even though it sounds completely stupid and silly, you have to listen, give them the time before rejecting it. Good speaking, definitely that is a very valid expert character of a leader, right? A good speaking reaches head, heart, and most importantly, will. You have to convince them to do things, right? Okay, so definitely all of you will accept to this. Leadership is credible when life matches words. Right? The leader is telling a lot of things and he doesn't follow any of those himself. And the leader is doing a lot of things and he's preaching the same thing. Right? So a leader is asking you not to fight, but you always see him fighting with other church members. Right? Okay, now, I want to talk about this. How many of you think being possessive is a good character? Okay, let me put it this way. See, you can be possessive of your friend, you can be possessive of your belonging, okay, so maybe, okay, so a 2-year-old will be possessive of their toy, right? As a leader, sometimes you'll get possessive, saying, okay, so I'm the deacon, only I should go and take the offering. Okay? So, I am the leader, only I should do this. We talked about a similar thing before, right? A person who gives very detailed instruction and always maintain a dependency. And another person who is giving you full ownership. Sometimes we become so possessive of our role We always want to do all the leadership here, we never delegate to others. It's like, okay, we are going on a trip, I can tell, okay, so you take ownership of transport. You take ownership of food, right? So, instead of saying, okay, so yeah, I talked to that hotel, I paid the money, you just go and buy the food, bring the food. No. You are responsible for food. You find the hotel. You go and get people's preference or veg, non-veg, how many days, everything. You go buy, right? A possessive leader won't do that. Sometimes we may mistake these kind of possessive leaders as really good, productive leaders because they do everything for us. They do everything for us, we are free, we feel happy. But that means nothing can happen without that leader. We are dependent on them. That person is creating a dependency here. By doing everything without giving us any ownership, that person is creating a dependency. That means you can't do anything without that person. It may sound like a very good thing initially, like, okay, being so much pampered, okay, that person is doing everything. No. Okay? That means the person is just being possessive. He wants control. He don't want to be independent. And a secure leader and an insecure leader, same content. A person or a leader who feels secure will have no problem in giving ownership to others. An insecure person will never give ownership to anyone. He'll always want you to be dependent on them. Right? Okay. So we are coming to the close. And definitely, so as young leaders, you have to think about love, firmness, and reliance on God. And one more thing is, you sit down, write in a paper about yourself, all your attributes, and compare that with what is told in the scripture. And then you rate yourself, are you a good person or a bad person? Okay? Are you possessive? Are you gossiping? Are you fighting? Are you judging people? Right? Don't give this to anyone else. Just sit. You write down your own characteristics and then compare that with the scripture. Right? Okay, so I'm not sure if you have enough time. We are done with the slides. We have a small activity. Can we, yeah, we'll do it quickly. Can we split into group of 5s also, because I need 3 groups. Okay, so let's see who is showing some spirit of leadership here. I want 3 people to come forward and get these 3 papers from me, and they will be the leaders of those 3 groups. Come on, any 3, quick. Okay, 1, 2, I need 1 more person. Okay. So, actually, everything is written in that sheet. There are some verses. You have to read those verses and fill the content below. Okay, so who are all in this group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. Here. Okay, you 4. Okay, that means can you move to this bench? Okay, anyone have pen? Do you have pens? You have pen? Do you have a pen? Do you have a pen? Okay. Okay, so let's make it quick. Okay, so we'll give 10 minutes. Okay? 2 minutes. What about you guys? Okay, 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, so it's time for the AOI. So we'll wind up soon. Okay, so who want to come and present first? You guys are done? Yeah, okay. Done? Okay, come. Okay, so you're going to read through all the answers. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so, okay, everyone listen. Let's hear some of the common points we have. Okay, so I want all the three leaders to come here. Come. It's okay, come. What do you have? Come. It is. Okay, let's see how many things we have in common among all these different passages that we read. Okay? So, yeah, so probably you can start. Read all those leadership characteristics.
From Exodus 33, verses 12 to 7, we wrote intercession for others.
Okay.
And Deuteronomy 32, 48 to 52, we wrote acceptance of accountability.
Okay.
And then Jeremiah 23, 22, 3, we wrote being just.
Okay, so you go next.
Micah 6:8 will be just, merciful, and have like humanity.
Okay, so at least, okay, so we have being just as a common so far. Keep going.
Zechariah 7:9 to 10, again judgment. So being just, merciful, compassionate, and not to oppress. And Matthew 5:1 to 10 is teaching.
Okay. Okay, you go ahead.
For us, it's 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Not misbehaving, not to be rude,
Okay.
does not boast, thinks no evil and rejoices in truth.
Okay.
And from Timothy, 1 Timothy 3, self-control, good reputation, having good manners.
Okay, good. Okay, so move to the next one. What should this look like in club ministry?
The first one we wrote standing in the gap, like there are both sides. You like ask, you ask opinion from both the sides and then
Okay.
you stand.
Yeah.
And then you prevent them. And then for the next one we wrote accountability.
Okay.
Like, and then for the third one we wrote unbiased.
Okay. You go next.
The first one we wrote to be humble and merciful. The second one, two practical ones, is being humble and patient. We weren't very sure about the third one, so we wrote punctuality.
Okay.
And then the fourth one is being compassionate.
Okay.
For us, the first one is to come forward with love, rejoice whenever the truth wins. And for the second one, violence is never an answer, and to not, jump into conclusion without hearing both the sides.
Okay. Yeah, so now you start with the second one.
The question?
Yes, yeah. So one leadership characteristics found in more than one person.
For us, it is being kind.
Being kind, okay, for you?
I already read out these instead of
Okay, so humble and, okay.
For us, it's accountability to
Accountability. So I can see that, like it's all about accountability here. I think it's more about like being just, where we have a little bit of mixed.
Emotions.
Yes.
Kind of.
Okay, what's the next one? Practical actions for club leaders.
biased and
You're right.
respect. No, you don't.
Okay.
For us, it is to not be biased.
Respect for human dignity.
Okay.
For us, it is not to be biased. They wrote the same thing. And live with a clear conscience.
Okay. For you?
Which one?
Second one.
This one?
Yeah.
Humble and patient.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So third question.
Um,
So one area in which our leadership team should improve. Our leadership team should improve.
Okay.
unity.
Unity. Okay. Good. Unity should improve. Okay.
Unity should improve.
Timing, being on time.
Yes. Even you didn't finish on time. You are late. Yeah. You.
About the same thing as well. Being
Okay.
on time, punctuality.
Okay. Last question.
Main.
Main takeaway from this report. What is it?
A godly leader leads with justice, compassion, courage, integrity, while knowing God in every decision.
Okay.
Compassion.
I think the one main takeaway is being compassionate because it has a little bit of everything if you think about it. You're just, you're also merciful, and you're kind. When it comes to compassion, all of it kind of comes together.
Okay. Good.
For us, it is being like Christ-like when it comes to leadership.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Thank you all. So, I know. So this group has not been so interactive with you, but now let me ask again. How many of you want to be leaders somewhere? In church, in work, anywhere? Only one? I know, like, not everyone wants to be leader. Some are happy in a comfort zone, being given the direction, less responsibilities, having a like, quiet, peaceful life. That's also fine. But as I said already, right? You can't be a leader till people see you as a leader. Okay? Probably told that 10 times today. It is not like you become a leader, then people see you as a leader. Even before that, people should see you as a leader. Only then you will become a leader. So keep that in mind. So whatever you do, think, I want to be a leader. People should see me as a leader. All the attributes of leader should be in me. Okay? Good. Okay, so let's close with a prayer. As someone who has not come to the front, should close with a prayer. Anyone? Someone who has not come to the front. Anyone? Elton, tell one letter.
D.
D? Okay, you want to be a Okay, we'll close the prayer.
Okay, let's all rise for closing prayer. Let's pray. Our most gracious lying only Father, thank you Lord for the day you have given to us, Lord. Thank you Lord for the Sabbath blessings you have given to all of us, Lord. At this time, we are ending this session with thy heavenly knowledge. Whatever we have learned in this session, help us to follow it in our daily activities, and help us to learn some more things in the upcoming programs, O Lord. Lord, as you're going to take part in every program, be with the ones who are taking part in today's program. As you're going to continue to take part in today's activities, be with the Saint Twenties. I'm asking these few mercies in Jesus' name.
So hopefully this was helpful a little bit.